Now let's talk about when are you going to need them. If you're doing new construction, you need a bunch of this stuff before, even before you start offering. You're going to want to start trying to understand um who you want to work with as an architect and who you want to have as a general contractor. Rarely are the same, but there are some design build companies out there. If you see somebody that's design build, they're architect and contractor under one house. They're usually a little bit of a premium for that, a little more of a boutique custom feel, which can be what you're looking for. It is great to have one point of contact. All the accountability is in-house, so there's less finger pointing, but there is a little bit to be paid for that. Usually you would start with an architect or a GC and they would be able to cross refer. We could refer to both, but some architects have contractors that they really like for certain types of projects. Some contractors have architects that they really like and have a good relationship with. So getting started there before you even get rolling in, so you can start to understand costs, timeline, scope of work, what they're going to do, when they're going to do it, and they can be involved in the land evaluation process for you when you're starting to really start shopping and making offers. If you're just looking at doing something with a heavy remodel or addition, I say just, but that's terrifying for a lot of people. The sooner the better, because when you're looking at a property, do you want to take the roof off? Or are you going to finish out the basement? Do you need to do an addition? You want to know who you want to talk to for an architect and a contractor to see what can be done about how much is it going to cost, because that's probably going to weigh in to your calculations. If you're going to do an AADU or a DADU, which is an attached additional dwelling unit, or a detached additional dwelling unit, which is kind of all the buzz right now. The last two buyers we got into contract, both are looking at doing that on their properties. You want to have the architect in general identified or have a direction that you're going by the time you get into contract, especially if you're not familiar with some of the risks and the costs. We can help with a lot of that in the pre-qualification, making sure this property should work. This is it. We're in different cities looking at different things all the time. But if you don't have an agent that has that, then you really want to get those guys identified before you get into contract to make sure that you can do what you need to do as part of the feasibility process, that you're buying the right property. If you're just doing standard small stuff, you probably want to have them identified by the time you're in contract is ideal, so that you can call and get a feel for what repairs are. Or you have somebody ready to call as soon as you get in contract, so you can move through the inspection or the feasibility process as soon as possible. If you're doing stuff, another consideration is, are you planning on doing stuff pre or post closing? If you're really comfortable and confident in that you're not buying a heavy fixer upper, that you don't need a contractor, you're super handy, then you might not need anybody until post closing and you can start working on stuff. But if you're not really handy, if you are looking at a fixer, if you're not sure what's going on, if you have a lot of reservation about it, you want to start identifying people beforehand. And then the other piece of the pre or post closing is, when do you want the work done? Sometimes, especially in a buyer's market, you can get it done pre-closing, negotiated pre-closing as a condition of sale, and make the seller pay for it. That's one extreme end of the spectrum. If it's really a seller's market, which a lot of stuff in Seattle is now, it's post-closing and you're paying for it. So those are two different things, but it can be negotiable, and it's stuff that we can talk about when we're talking about writing the winning offer and what do you want to do. But you do want to be aware of and mindful of that when you're looking at things as well.